like how my hair is sitting. Ah, I said Morticia Adams. Ah, you don't like this hair? I mean, it is spooky season, you know. But I feel like this look is giving very Jack Sparrow vibes. Oh, cut that out. Hello, and welcome back to an unfamiliar environment. I am Becca Reyes, and welcome back to ignoring all of my problems and delving into the weird and wonderful world of Twilight. Don't we love to be here? Yes, these are Christmas lights, and the setup is a little weird. Yes, I am sitting on my table, and yes, I'm wearing pajama pants. What would you be wearing in quarantine? So, we're back at it again. Here at Krispy Kreme, back like we never left. We're back and we're better than ever with an analysis of the third installment of the Twilight Saga, Eclipse. This movie is a fandom favorite, I think, because they actually admit that people outside of Edward and Bella actually exist and have lives, which we love to see. We get the backstories of both Rosalie and Jasper, as well as some history of the wolves and the Quillette tribes. And I think I'm personally more appreciative of this now that I'm older and I'm not as involved and invested in Edward and Bella's love story, and actually focus on the other characters, only to discover that Edward and Bella wouldn't have been shit without them, which is the case with a lot of YA love stories. Like the peripheral or like extra characters are always either the best characters or the ones that really make the show. So let's just do a run through of the film and I'll tell you what I think about it. Take it away, Ma.
So the movie starts out showing us a guy we've never seen before leaving a bar in the rain when he is attacked by a vampire. We later find out that this guy is someone named Riley, and through the course of the movie we discover that Victoria was the one who attacked him and changed him into a vampire so that he could lead this vampire army that she is creating to destroy the Cullen clan. Or just Bella, because Edward was the one who killed her mate James and she wants to return the favor by killing his. Cut to Edward and Bella, who are living their best lives, but Charlie is not too comfortable with this because he's still angry with Edward for leaving Bella an absolute mess in the previous movie, and he encourages Bella to try and get in contact with Jacob, who again is ignoring her. Edward, however, discourages this because he claims the wolves are uncontrollable and Bella wouldn't be safe. Anyway, the Cullens and the wolves are eventually forced to work together because Alice has a vision that Victoria, Riley, and their little newborn vampire army are coming for Bella. Jasper, who happens to have experience with newborn armies, gives everyone a crash course on how to fight them, which leads to him giving Bella his backstory. He was a Confederate soldier in his human life, by the way. Are we not... Miss Myers, we're just not gonna discuss that. Okay. Anyway, in between all of this, Bella, Edward, and everyone else are having this back and forth of Bella having to be changed into a vampire after graduation, which doesn't happen because they're a bit preoccupied with fighting this army, and because there are still 2 whole movies left to make. This delay doesn't change the fact that Rosalie is dead set against Bella choosing immortality, and this leads to her giving us her backstory. Loved it. Well, not loved it, but the revenge plot, leaving the fiancé for last, busting in that wedding dress. Y'all better give Miss Rosalie her flowers and her own movie. Anyway, so the battle finally comes. The Cullens and the wolves come out on top. Seth kills Riley, Edward kills Victoria, and Bella makes some dumb speech about how she was always meant to be a vampire, and finally says yes after Edward proposes for the umpteenth time.
So that's the whole movie in a nutshell. I skipped over a few things, but most of it doesn't really matter in the greater scheme of the movie, so don't even worry about it. I'm just gonna talk about a few things in the movies that are interesting or weird to me. First of all, they switched up Victoria's from Rachel Lefevre. Girl, I don't know. They switched her up from the more strawberry blonde gal to the one with the fire engine red hair. Love both looks, by the way. I should actually try it in my life. I don't know. I'm done with the purple and I'm thinking of going green, but after that all bets are off. Like, I'm really gonna do the absolute most with my hair. I'm tired. So they changed Rachel's? I think it's this Friends. Can you imagine if they did that? Switched up Jennifer Aniston for like someone else? We would have never heard the end of it. Okay, they switched up Victoria's from Rachel Lefebvre to Bryce Dallas Howard. And now everyone has their favorite Victoria, like of the two. But my thing is, why pit two queens against each other, you know? Like, I know the change wasn't exactly seamless, but it wasn't like bothersome, or at least for me, it wasn't jarring, or it didn't change anything about the story for me that Victoria just had a different face now. Also, she kind of had like a different style. Like, in the beginning, she was more like bohemian, free spirit, she walks barefoot. I believe even as a human she probably did that. Now, Bryce Dallas Howard's version of Victoria, she was more in 19th century, you know, very like, she had that like, what, officer's coat on. You know, like she had like the fluff, what do you call those, frilled cuffs and stuff. Like, there was just like a slight difference in the styles that they went with, but it wasn't enough to bother me personally. That's just my personal opinion on that switch up, so that was okay for me. Howard was like, I mean, I liked the original Victoria, but I think Howard's version was like, you know, it was sufficient enough to get the job done, and I think she was convincing enough to get the job done. Second of all, let's talk about Jacob's sense of entitlement. Now, it was evident through all the movies, but I think in this one it really came to a head where it was just like, listen, I don't know who needs to hear this, but kissing requires consent. Any kind of physical interaction requires consent. Otherwise, it's just assault, okay? It's just assault. Unless it's for your own good, no one should be touching you or kissing you for any reason. No, why would it be for your own good for someone to kiss you? I guess mouth to mouth, but didn't they take that out of CPR? No one should be kissing you without your consent, though. And like, I know people are gonna say like, oh, but if you really know the person, you don't require verbal confirmation or verbal consent. But you still have to read the social cues. And I don't know what in the conversation that Jacob and Bella had gave him the cues that now is the right time to kiss her. Okay, my camera died, so I ate something and then I tied up my hair because it was getting messy. And now I'm not gonna loosen it to film this video. Continuity be damned. Sorry about that. In conclusion, this solidified my belief that Jacob is an entitled child who can't see beyond his own desires, and that men are trash. Next, let's talk about my girl Rosalie, which is ample compared to what we know about the other characters, which is close to nothing. I think a lot of this stuff was answered by Stephanie Meyer afterwards. And how was Carlisle changed? Was there ever like a story there? How did Carlisle become a vampire? Something to discuss, because y'all know that without him none of this would have happened, hey? None of this. So big ups to Papa Carlisle, man. Regardless, let's talk about Rosalie's other personality trait, her dislike for Bella. She does say in this movie that she does dislike Bella. She doesn't hate her, but she dislikes her. But she also envies her. She envies the fact that Bella has a choice to choose immortality, unlike the rest of the Cullens, who really at the last, like in their dying breaths, were given this life. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's fine. They're having a good time. None of the Cullens were given a choice to choose immortality, and Bella is choosing it voluntarily, and she believes Bella is choosing wrong. Now, I went back and forth with this a few times, and I was like, yeah, what the fuck is wrong with Bella? Like, she's got a good life. Rosalie's got a point. Why would you give this up for some guy, you know? Why would you give up your entire life, literally, for this guy? Yeah, it's fine enough to say, like, Bella's got a good life. Why would she want to change anything about it? But now that I'm thinking about it, why? I mean, it's not fair to tell someone what will or won't make them happy. Like, it's not fair to decide for someone. Not that Rosalie is, it's just that Rosalie, I don't think it's fair of Rosalie to be forcing her own desires onto Bella. Like, would it make Rosalie happily if Bella just, like, you know, would it make Rosalie happily? Oof. Would it make Rosalie happy if Bella just stayed human? I don't know, that's never really covered. Okay, so her reasoning is that she was never given the opportunity to get married, have children, grow old, and die with her husband. Like, she wasn't given the opportunity to live a normal life. To each their own. Personally, I don't want that to be my life's priority. Like, I don't want that to be the only thing I show for it at the end of my life, you know. And there's nothing wrong with it. There really isn't. There's nothing wrong with Rosalie wanting that kind of life. There's nothing wrong with that kind of life. But I mean, if that life's not for you, why should you be forced to conform to it just because it's considered like normal or considered, you know, what is expected of you? So now that I'm older and now that I understand that everyone needs to be given the opportunity to choose their own happiness, even if it's for a man, I'm kind of behind Bella. I understand Rosalie's unhappiness and I understand her holding this grudge against Bella, but you get what I'm saying, you know? Like, to each their own. Like, if I were Rosalie, I'd just be like, you know, I personally wouldn't make this decision, but go ahead, girl, like, go off, sis. Finally, the fact that Edward and Bella are now getting married by the end of this movie. Actually, before that, let's talk about Bella's dumb little speech about her being like, she's literally stumbling through her human life and she was always meant to be a vampire because she feels so alive in Edward's world. Which is, I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing at her. Like I said, to each their own. If that's her happiness, I'm happy for her. But I don't like the way the movie made Bella seem. Like, in the books, yes, she was ready to become a vampire, but only because Edward was. Like, everything was about Edward. I think what I liked about the books was that everything she did for Edward, meaning everything she did for love, which I can respect wholeheartedly. But in the movie, this speech really just, you know, diminishes and, you know, disregards all of that. Like, it really kind of confirms Edward's insecurity about Bella gaining immortality and just leaving. You know, she got the head, she got the bread, she got the immortality, and she dipped. So I didn't like that little feature where she's like, oh, I'm meant to be a vampire and you better give it to me, because, you know, I didn't like that. I didn't like that part. I think they could have done without it. Like, they could have done without a lot of things, but we're going to talk about that when the Renaissance gets here, because, oof, girl. I watched it the other day, Breaking Dawn Part 2, and that CGI. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. The fact that they're getting married, super stoked for them. I was super stoked for them. I mean, like I said, to each their own. Whatever makes you happy, you should definitely do that. I don't think there's really Anything else I wanted to say about this movie? Apparently Kristen Stewart wore a wig for this one. Well, maybe not like a full like lace front, but she wore a wig apparently on the back. Looked good. Didn't look that bad. Love that Boo Boo Stewart was in this movie. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, little Boo Boo Stewart. And then he grew up and we were all like, Mr. Stewart. So I'm glad that he was I love that he was cast as Seth. Seth in the book is exactly the way Boo Boo Stewart portrayed him in the movie. Adorable, adorable. I'm glad they got him. Oh man. Also, guys, hang on, whoa. There's so many things. I'm gonna do a video where I react to Twilight memes. I'm going to do it because there are too many and they're clogging up my phone, but I love it. So I'm gonna do that video. But I just one of the things that I keep seeing around, guys, Jacob Lautner, Taylor Lautner is Caucasian. Why? I don't understand. Why could they not just have gotten someone who understood the character completely? I mean, not maybe he did, but he's mostly Caucasian though. I don't know. I mean, at least he looked the part. Is that okay? Is it fine that he just looked the part? Anyway, guys, if you liked this video and you would like to see more like it, like this video, subscribe, leave a comment, no matter what kind of comment, because all feedback is good feedback. And I'll see you when I see you. Stay bad and boozy. Bye!